Welcome to the International Year of Rangelands and Pastoralists, the IYRP. We, the Global Alliance for Rangelands and Pastoralists, invite you to join us in this year-long journey. We start in January 2026 by setting the stage for the rest of the year and asking, what are rangelands? Who are pastoralists? Let's start with asking how diverse are rangelands and pastoralists around the world? What do they have in common? The aim of the IYRP is to raise awareness on how pastoralism is in line with the goal of achieving sustainability in a changing world. We aim to celebrate the diversity of rangelands and pastoral systems and show how rangelands and pastoralists share commonalities across the globe. There are so many different viable and sustainable pastoral systems around the world, but they are not well known and in many cases are threatened with massive change. The word pastoralist is more commonly used in Europe, Asia, Africa, and Australia, and it means people who gain their livelihoods primarily from livestock, whether domesticated or semi-domesticated animals, and that graze predominantly on natural or semi-natural grasslands and rangelands. The most common synonyms used in English around the world are herder and cowboy or cowgirl. A simple Google search shows many more names. It is estimated that there are at least 500 million pastoralists in the world, not counting agropastoralists who combine livestock and crop production. Another 1 billion people are dependent upon the pastoral economy. The League for Pastoral Peoples maintains an open-source portal that has been collecting information about pastoralists around the world. This is work in progress, and all pastoral communities are encouraged to contact the League to be included in this database. The words rangeland or range are more commonly used in the USA and Australia and mean native grasslands, shrublands, woodlands, wetlands, and cold or hot deserts that are grazed by domestic livestock and wild animals. In other parts of the world, the most commonly used word in English is grazing land, although grassland, savanna, and taiga, and many more words are also used. Rangelands can be found in every continent and almost every country. Rangelands span about half of the Earth's landmass. They range from the tundra and montane systems in the global north to the semi-arid regions and shrublands in the south. Mapping these rangelands has been a challenge. The Global Alliance for Rangelands and Pastoralists has built a momentum for gathering and documenting better and more up-to-date information on rangelands, and we expect that a more comprehensive map will become available in 2026. In many parts of the world, rangelands are not owned privately, but held in common, perhaps by a local community or by a public entity. For example, in India, pastoral commons are widespread, and they are called by many different names. Lands held in common are important resources for all pastoralists because of the unpredictability and variability in rangeland resources. Pastoralism is characterized by the movement of livestock across the rangeland, for example, by transhumance, nomadism, or rotational grazing. In some countries, the herders move with their animals, camping in different parts of the rangeland, sometimes together with their families. In other countries, only the drover or rancher moves the animals. In some systems, pastoralists specialize in one type of animal, such as cattle in North America, reindeer in the Arctic, yaks in Central Asia. While in other systems, different types of animals are raised together. For example, cattle, sheep, and goats by the Fulani in Africa, or camels and goats in the Middle East, or a combination of domesticated and wild grazers in the wildlife conservancies of East Africa. All these systems have evolved throughout history, and the movement of the animals is the common denominator. Herding or guarding dogs and other service animals such as donkeys and horses are also essential to this livelihood. But there are some notable exceptions to the above, because some mobile pastoralists do not use rangelands. An example is the herding of large flocks of ducks between the rice paddies in India. The IYRP helps us to move more persistent myths to reality. Let's turn the table on perceptions that pastoralism is an archaic form of production. Instead, let's celebrate that it is a sustainable solution for the future. That's because pastoralism is the best use of rangelands. Through its mobility, it is a historical adaptation to the variability of these landscapes, far better suited and sustainable than crops, forests, mining, or urban development. However, The conversion of rangelands to these other uses, the blocking of herding corridors, and therefore livestock mobility, and the degradation of the remaining rangelands have reduced the extent of the range and increased the vulnerability of pastoralists to climate change. Fortunately, it is still possible to protect and even enhance livestock mobility. Some countries, such as Spain, are re-establishing ancient transhumance routes. In other countries, such as South Africa, rangelands are coming under legal protection. In yet other countries, electric and invisible fences, GPS tagging, and other technologies are becoming more accessible to allow frequent rotation and mobility of animals. Each community and country will need to find ways to adapt, but it is essential to have policies that prevent indiscriminate conversion of precious rangelands to less suitable uses. Pastoralism brings triple benefits: social, economic, and environmental. Here we summarize a few of these benefits. Tune in each month to find out more. Pastoralists as stewards of rangelands can coexist with wildlife and ensure the continued viability and diversity of ecosystems. The capacity of rangelands for carbon capture is far higher than previously thought, and its value is not yet fully reflected in carbon markets. Decentralized renewable energy, when done on a small scale and with prior informed consent and equitable benefit sharing, is helping to eliminate energy poverty in many pastoralist regions. Pastoral production can contribute significantly to national and global economies and to the global protein supply, and it can meet the rising demand for healthy food and fiber. Meat from pastoral livestock has been shown to contain more omega-rich proteins than meat from confined livestock or from plant protein. Pastoralist traditions have provided many value systems and cultural identities that have contributed to shape most cultures around the world. Pastoralism is a path towards sustainability in a changing world, and so much still needs to change. It is critical that pastoralists are empowered to have full and effective participation in decision-making for securing their rights, for preserving indigenous and local knowledge, values, and cultural institutions. Policies that result in unfair trading practices, such as subsidies for importation of meat and milk in countries with strong pastoral systems, need to be changed. We need to respect the rights of pastoralist women to access and use land, natural resources, technology, knowledge, and information. Investments are urgently needed to restore degraded rangelands and protect livestock mobility. Policies and investments must ensure that social and economic services are accessible to mobile and remote populations, such as mobile schools and banking. Adequate infrastructure, such as decentralized electricity and internet, bridges and routes for animals to move on, veterinary and health services, and market access are also all needed. Significant knowledge gaps can be reduced through participatory research and impact assessments, co-creation of knowledge, and joint monitoring. Data on rangelands and pastoralists should be disaggregated from general agricultural statistics so that policies and services can be tailored to pastoral systems. The IYRP 2026 raises awareness about 12 global themes over the 12 months. Pastoralists and their rangelands across the globe share similar concerns, challenges, and opportunities in all these themes. In the coming months, we will focus on each of these themes in more detail. During the last 10 years of mobilizing for the IYRP 2026, much has already been achieved towards our 4 goals. For example, films such as Pastoralism is the Future, developed by CELEP and partners, and the UNESCO Declaration on Transhumance have increased awareness of the value of pastoralists as stewards of the rangelands. The UNEP Benign Neglect Report, the World Map of Pastoralists, and the Rangeland Atlas, and other reports such as that of the International Land Coalition on Making Rangelands More Secure, and numerous briefs about pastoralism and climate change based on research by the University of Sussex. All of these and much more have helped expand our knowledge. Already, we have seen legal advocacy, such as in addressing the impact of large-scale renewable energy installations on pastoralists' land, and in gaining government policy changes that favor pastoralists and rangelands, for example in South Africa and India. And there are increased calls for greater investment in and funding of ethical and sustainable projects and programs on rangelands and for pastoralists, including a decision in 2024 by the United Nations Convention to Combat Drought and Desertification, as well as the creation of the Rangeland Stewardship Council. But much more remains to be done. The future of pastoralism as an important component of a sustainable global food system will depend on the innovation and inspiration of future generations and on support for pastoralist youth initiatives, entrepreneurship, and associations. High entry barriers for young people should be addressed by enabling pastoralist youth to access land, participate in governance, and maintain their pastoralist mobility and flexibility. By addressing these barriers, outmigration of pastoralist youth can be reduced, abandoned rangelands can be brought back into sustainable production, and rangelands can be protected through pastoralist stewardship into the future. Tune in every month for more insights, myth-busting, and showcasing of rangelands and pastoralists. Join us in celebrating the International Year of Rangelands and Pastoralists.